You are welcome back from your weekends. Hope you all had a wonderful one. I did too. We are here for the continuation of our video that was dropped last week entitled The Painful Realities of Divorce. I believe most of us went through it and we saw how divorce could be so sad. And last week we were able to focus the women or the wives as the victims of divorce. And we saw how painful and how sad it could be in their lives. And also, we promised that this week we are going to drop the following part of it, which is part 2, the painful realities of divorce, part 2. But this time, part 2 is going to focus on the men being the victims of divorce. So now, before we go deep into this topic, I would want to carry out some introductory aspects of the man's life. For instance, the way men are made, and we also talk about things that could break a man down, and how a man tries to avoid things that will break him down and expose his emotions. And as a result of these things, there are certain ways a man will behave in order to stay away and be successful. And if at the end of the day it finally happens, we are going to see how these things could emotionally affect men. So let us start with how men are made. Men are made in a very powerful way. They are strong physically, and also they can do a long term or long run emotional work. But at the same time, men could easily crash. They can also be highly emotional. And these are the things that the female folks fails to understand. And because of this high emotional nature of men, they try their possible best not to expose their weaknesses. Because by the time they expose them, it makes them so emotional. And the aspect of them you will see sometimes will just leave you in a shock. And that is why a man will go as far as trying to create this defensive mechanism for himself to protect his emotions. Rather than fully opening up his emotion to everyone to see, he will try to prevent the things that would lead to such emotional exposure on his part. So, what are these things that are liable to trigger the emotions in men and make them feel helpless? There are many more, but I would like to talk about the major thing that a man cannot bear at all. And what is that? When the wife starts having affairs outside, when the wife starts cheating on the man, this is a very painful thing to a man, and a man can never control that. We have other things that our wives could do that are still within the level of control. For instance, your wife could disrespect you. Your wife could say all sorts of things to you, but you could take that one. You could forgive because marriage is where we come into the union and we are told on the day of the oath taking that it is for better for worse, isn't it? So all those things men could tolerate. But by the time you start going to the length of cheating on your husband, you now have a guy outside the marriage bond, and your husband gets to discover, I'm telling you, he will be broken and his emotions will be open to the whole world. And it is so painful when it happens. So, a man at this level will start thinking of what will be the worst case scenario. And we all know the worst case scenario, even the Holy Book talks about adultery as the room for divorce, isn't it? And that worst case scenario is the divorce. A man who have invested a lot in his marriage, In terms of physical investment, he has done that. Materially, mentally, and everything, he has tried to contribute to this marriage. And all of a sudden, a woman underrates this and tries to shatter the marriage and pull the marriage down. The man will never be happy at all. And when women are starting with this act of theirs that leads to divorce, sometimes it starts in a flimsy way. Things you never knew could lead to trouble is where they will grab hold of to generate trouble from it. And because they are after a target, they are heading for something. And what is that? They want to create an avenue that will lead to trouble and make the marriage to be broken. And in this case, when the man is the innocent victim of the marriage, he's helpless. He doesn't have anything to do because it's like a trap. A trap is set and you'll be unaware of it. You just go into it. Any little thing you say, the woman complains bitterly. The woman is no longer happy with the things you do. She will use expressions like, "What have you done for me? Your mates are there. Do you know what they are doing for their wives?" They will compare you with Mr. A and Mr. B, not knowing, not caring to know what you are going through to provide for the marriage at that particular time. All men are trying. In some cases, the man might not have the resources enough to provide everything that the family needs at that particular time. But this does not mean that it is going to last forever in the marriage. Things will definitely improve as long as the man does not sit back and fold his hands in the lazy manner and become a couch potato watching TV all the time. He goes, he's working. So it is not good to use such expressions on your husbands. When you do that, you break them down. And those who cannot even control their emotions and their anger, they end up striking the woman. And the woman will grab hold of that my husband has battered me and there is nothing on earth will stop me from going. And before you know, they are gone. And also, they would try to make you feel so little and less of yourself. The men. They talk to the men anyhow. They insult the man. There is nothing you will bring to the family that will add a value before your wife or before the women. So they continue in this manner, trying to frustrate you, and before you know, they will just prepare the divorce papers and say, "Look, I'm tired. I cannot continue like this. I did not suffer like this in my father's house. And so I have to go and search for greener pasture." Not knowing that there is someone by the corner that is deceiving these women. Leave your husband and come, and I will make your life better. So those men will tell the women. Deceive them. And women, if you don't think, if you are inexperienced, you just follow them. Sometimes it is not even the men alone that says that. Their friends will be involved in deceiving them. Try to, why are you still in that man's house? What are you doing there? Me, I cannot take that to this, blah, 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 blah. They say all sorts of things to scatter your marriage. Women, have you taken your time to go to such friends' house to see how they are operating in their own houses? Are they leading happy lives? Or could it be that they are jealous of you? A woman never bothers to check that. A woman will always carry out the action before he or she regrets. But in this case, it will be better to regret your actions before you carry them out. And by the time you continue with this, your flimsy excuses, you finally bring your divorce documents home for your husband to sign. And he signs that. At the end of the day, the marriage is broken. Mind you, at this point in time, you and your spouse, you are not the only people in the marriage again. You have children to cater for. Some women does not even care of about how the children feels. They only care about themselves. They will say tomorrow these children will grow up to know us, and they will just walk away like that, leaving the man to suffer. Now you have left the man. The man is there. He has to struggle to provide for the children. He has to struggle to provide for himself. He has to struggle to also nurture his emotions, to get well from the situation. But in most cases, mind you, just like the women, as we say in the previous video, in the part one, most men never get over this calamity. You will see them ending up in committing suicide. Before you know, they will drop their notes, their suicide notes, that because of so I can no longer continue. Look at me and my kids alone. Look at me facing this. Life has treated me so badly, so I'm sorry, and this and that, and they die. So now, how would you feel as the wife when your husband dies because of you? And to crown it all, the man you went to meet is not meeting up with the requirement he thought he would have been meeting up with. So painful and sad, isn't it? And also, this man goes through the pain of bringing for the family, tries to provide for the children emotionally. But because of the fact that he will have to go to work and the office, the management does not care if he is divorced or not, they just want him to deliver in his job duties. So he will end up, against his wish, trying to get the children over to the grandma's place, or some people who do not have relatives will better resort to taking the children to orphanage home. Every day as the man goes to work, he is not complete at all. His mind keep wondering, how did all of these things happen? Men used to invest a lot in marriage. We are not in the place like the Western world whereby the effort comes from both sides. Here in Africa, the men alone they bear the burden of marriage. They provide, they do everything. It's just in recent times that women will now try to assist them when planning for marriage. So please, marriage is so painful. The burden, just as it is hard on women, that is the same way it is hard on the men. Nobody is pleased about it. The question we should ask ourselves now is, why then do we try to embark on this? Why then have we forgotten in a hurry how we started the marriage? Those things that attracted you to your spouse, where are they? How come they have disappeared into the thin air in just a short time? Rather than taking the long part and the painful aspect, is it not better to quickly amend what is happening to the relationship and fix it fast and come back? We can separate. There is no problem, no problem with that. But even if we separate, let it not be for a very long time, because the devil is looking for an avenue, for an opportunity to break the marriage. So the more you give that gap, the more you create a crack in your marriage, he will occupy it immediately, and he will start adding petrol, adding all sorts of things that enhances fire to burn. And that is how your marriage will keep widening. The gap in between will keep widening and widening and widening, and before you know, it's gone. So let us try to avoid those things that could lead to divorce, in order to avoid the pains. Let me tell you, divorce is a wind that blows no couples good. Today you might feel it. That time you have spent together, that time you have invested in your bonding, Have you thought about the aspect that sometime in this journey of divorce you have embarked on, that you are going to miss your partner, that you are going to miss your husband? You will sit and the thoughts of your memories will just come upon you like a swarm of locusts, and you will not be able to cope at all. You wish you could go back, but a lot of damages have been done. So, what am I trying to say? When you start losing track of your love, when you start losing track of your beautiful relationship, don't forget about your past. There's this popular saying that goes this way, that he who condemns the who forgets the past condemns the future. So let that your past, let the times, the lovely times you have built together, continue to serve as a direction to your future, especially in marriage. We know no two people are the same. There is no two people that can live together without trouble. But we can try to accommodate these troubles, to manage them before it is too late. We are going to continue in this struggle of keeping a marriage because that's the original plan of God, isn't it? That a man and a wife will come together as one and they will live forever. They will love themselves forever. God did not have this divorce agenda in marriage plan at all. Where did it come from? That is the question we should ask ourselves. We should try our possible best to avoid divorce and rather look for possible ways in which we could continue to enjoy our relationships. Thanks very much for watching, and I want to use this avenue to appreciate you so much, to be my subscriber, and also your part in sharing my videos, in liking my videos. And don't forget, if you have any observation and if you have any question, if there is any way you want a marriage brain box to assist in your marriage, please don't hesitate to share your problems. Thank you very much once more for being with us. And until next week, we hope to see you again. Bye for now.